Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of calculus. Welcome to room 15, where?
Learning never ends.
Learning never ends. And it especially doesn't end today for Jack. Jack took a third period pre-calculus, and now he came back for more, for fourth period pre-calculus. So that's how serious Jack is about pre-calculus, right? So he just had to come back. So the thing I want to show you at the beginning of class today is we ended class yesterday with this problem worked out. And so what I did is I went and kind of finished it up this morning just to show you what happened. And this should take you back to, I hope you remember something of Algebra 2 Honors where we did problems like this. And basically what you're doing is if you have an axis of symmetry and two extra points, you can get an equation of a parabola from this thing right here. So if you use this point 15, 16, there's the use of 15, 16, and you get this 16 equals 225a plus k. And then if you use 30, 0, you plug in 0 for your output and your 30 for your input. And so then you have this equation right here, and then you can solve this system of equations.
Happy birthday. Hey, Anna.
Happy birthday.
Whose birthday is it?
No, Hannah.
Oh, Hannah. Happy birthday, Hannah.
Happy birthday.
Can we sing happy birthday to
I think
Hannah?
she needs a birthday song.
Oh, man, we gotta do happy birthday song.
Yeah, come on, Hannah.
Hannah, we have a song for you.
Do you want to
There's
hear
a song. Yeah, we'll take time with pre-calculus stuff.
Heard the song.
Okay, Hannah, this is the type of song we didn't sing for. How old are you now?
What's today?
20? All right, good job.
The what?
Okay, everybody, let's use the proper enthusiasm, right? You have a birthday, shout.
Hooray!
Hooray!
We're here to sing to you today. 1 year older and wiser too. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. You're welcome.
I'm going with
Oh my
pre-calculus.
gosh, I love this song.
Good job. Thank you for participating.
I love you.
One thing about Hannah is she's really what I call an institution at this school, right?
Yes.
There's just something special about her and how everybody helps her, right? Anyway, I think it's a great thing about this school. That's what makes Wildcat Country so great, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. So anyway, what it is, you end up solving this system, and you end up with K being equal to 21.333 feet. And so that's going to be your elevation right here. So your final, in your vertex form, it's going to be this thing right here. You get A is equal to negative 0.0237. And then using that, plugging that in, you get K equal to 21.333 feet. So that's going to be your maximum clearance right here. Okay? Does that give you good memories back from Algebra 2 Honors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember doing that from Algebra 2 Honors?
No, I don't remember the song either. It's kind of weird.
You don't remember what song?
The song, the Algebra 2 song.
You don't remember it?
Oh, yeah.
You remember it?
I remember it now that Steve said what it was, and I was like, oh.
Okay, yeah, okay, good. Should remember. All right, so today we're going to be starting on more we call properly categorized as trigonometry. And we're going to be doing some quick review exercises. And so I'm going to call on some people. But what is the equation that you can use to solve number 1 and 2? And 3 and 4, by the way. What is the circumference equal to? Yeah, so circumference is 2 pi r, so Steve-O is right.
Or pi d.
Or pi times diameter, right? Either one, 2 pi r, pi. And what it is, I think somebody in third period said 2 pi r squared. Well, if you say 2 pi r squared, you're mixing up area and circumference. But this is circumference, and it is in our unit circle trigonometry song. Okay, I will demonstrate for you. 0, pi over 6 and more. The next one to know is pi over 4. Then pi over 3 and pi over 2 are all of the radians. I'll say to you, r is 1 circumference is pi times 2. So that's your circumference. So our circumference in this instance is going to be 2. What are you going to get for your answer for this? What did you say, Steve-O?
15.7.
Okay, not fine. Good job, Haley. Not fine. Thanks a lot, Shirley.
No, Metho's been right.
So you should get this, right? But I want to encourage you. What happens is that in pre-calculus, we're starting to go into more advanced mathematics at this point in our mathematical careers.
Maybe you missed me all.
And so what I want you to do is increasingly put your answers in terms of pi. And so if we put this answer in terms of pi, what is this going to be? What's 2 times 2.5? 5. So 5 pi. Now both of these are accurate answers, but 5 pi is even more accurate. 5 pi inches, because what's the limitation of 15.708? Yeah, this is a decimal, what we call a decimal approximation, which is not exact, and you have to write out more decimals. So we're going to increasingly try to leave things in terms of pi more and more. All right? So what I want to do is call on somebody to do problem number 2 for us. I'll just call on somebody. And so for problem number 2, we have Bailey. Bailey, you are problem 2 today.
No.
What do we have, Bailey, for problem 2?
It's probably jumping. I don't want that.
So do you want the pie one or do you want the?
I want both of them if you have them, yeah. Why don't you give me both of them?
Do you want me to come write it?
Yeah, you could. I got to make sure that things adjust. It's better. It's always better.
It's you and him?
What color is your hoodie?
For what? Yeah.
I'm not getting on it.
So you're not going to make
Ben.
a vacation spirit like Mary had?
Ben, you missed it.
What?
You missed it, Ben.
How we saying?
We said you haven't read it yet.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Whatever.
His jacket's supposed to be
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
I'm still bugging me for it.
He's gonna get us. But I didn't.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
I was not done.
Yeah, let's make sure we do this if we can. Let's put our units here, right?
I didn't buy them.
Right, Bailey? We got our units here, right? Is that right, Bailey? Right. Okay, thank you for that.
Wait, what? What?
Okay, and we Our next, to problem 3. Now, this problem 3 and 4, you're given a circumference, but then you're going to work backwards to find the radius. So I'll call on somebody for number 3.
Who's that?
What would you, did you divide?
I did 6 also times.
Is it 6? It's 6, 5.
Okay, problem 3, we have Peyton. Peyton, problem 3.
Do you think he's like hot or something?
Steve, what are you talking about?
No.
Oh, yeah, man, you're at the response.
Ask Connor if he thinks it.
What am I doing?
I don't.
Yes.
Yes, he is. Okay.
I don't think he's.
Hey, relatable. It's a real.
Somebody that she thinks hot and I
This is the guy.
don't.
I'll tell you honestly.
How's Ain't no way you just told me it was wrong over the head.
We have to get your units.
Do the next one.
I hope I can do it.
Jackson, but they're all 18. But you know, easy to find.
I've never even seen this guy.
Yes. I've seen pictures of him, bro.
I don't like your stuff. I'll show you who I'm in. You like to see that?
Is it that,
I told my mom to say
or
it.
that's the best we're gonna do.
Oh, no.
The previous one, this is mine.
How many feet are mine?
Yeah, kind of good.
All right, should,
What do you think?
only thing I'd like to do is let's be,
You don't think?
he has the units, that's
Take a look
good.
at him.
Let's make sure that we know we're dividing by pi, right? So they cancel out, so R is equal to 6 over
I don't
pi
trust you. I don't trust
You
you.
guys have one?
meters,
I
which is about 1.9 meters, right?
Exactly right. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, that's, the student who did this third period made a mistake somehow. She got like 6 times pi. That's really 6 divided by pi, right? So thank you for that. I'm going to choose somebody for number 4 here in Hatton.
How many minutes left is what?
Mr. G?
I didn't think you
So apparently my brother and my mom have COVID, but my mom called the nurse and they said I can come to school even though they have it,
Yeah.
and I don't.
You don't have symptoms.
I still live in the same house as them, so why do they let me come to school?
They're new quarantine rules.
Boy,
I mean, I'm not complaining.
You know what it is?
It's like, I feel like it's still not.
Yeah, what it is as we progress through this pandemic situation,
it only tells you.
the rules change. And so it's mankind coping with this.
Yeah, my
Right.
brother can't go back to school till like the 18th or something like that.
Yeah, did he have symptoms too? Or he
Yeah.
was tested, right?
Yeah, he was positive, so was my mom. My mom was positive today.
Well,
Yeah, well, as long as you're symptomless,
Yeah.
you don't have to be tested, right?
So then when.
I
Yeah,
still got
In
tested.
my finger.
I got tested and I was negative.
you're negative, you still got tested anyway, okay, so that's good.
It wasn't even in my pocket, it was right here.
And this is forever to do.
Dealing with the pandemic in real time, that's really good. Appreciate that.
Did you
was taking forever too. And then, like.
Okay, for number 4, we have Sal. Sal, you're number 4.
I was like, I'm saying, what is going on?
What?
So Sal is number 4.
Common mistake.
You were late. I was late.
I'm always, I hear you stop it.
Yes.
You know, certain
He makes things
things.
up.
I think it's that Dawson guy.
You know what he looks like? He looks like Cage, Aaron.
It's like, who?
I forgot how much.
They graduated last year?
Oh, was that the?
Yeah.
Yes, without the face, without the hair.
Okay.
That's his
Take
smile.
off the GE on the gauge part and put a Y.
Oh, you were
Because I've missed like in total.
Yeah, I can see like where the smile, he has the same smile thing.
It's like what? Josh.
I'm not
Now I'm not gonna see him, now I'm not gonna see him.
It's like now.
Oh, so maybe stuff.
No, I still wasn't, what?
I'll go get stuck here, doing stuff.
Good luck.
I am? When I told somebody this.
Actually, he kind of looks like Conman.
Shut up, dude, shut up, I'm actually. Okay,
I looked at his Conman.
G is forever.
Probably, I don't remember.
It's actually not.
They were.
Is it open?
They like make me.
We're gonna see if I do this right.
I'm supposed to be wearing one like every day, all day.
You had a bag with it, didn't you?
I have a picture.
I think I do. I just like. Well, I have one. I ran over there and I saw like.
But I put feet here.
And I was like, oh, I don't get it more. And they were 3
Feet, yeah, feet.
Shut up, baby.
Why do I have all orange? There's
So she wrote down 2 ways, right? Approximately 1.2 feet, or exactly 4/5 feet. Does that sound right?
I was gonna put them on.
Is that right, everybody?
And I left it in my face.
Guys, is that right?
Survey says?
Yes, family.
In the morning, I was like.
Thank you. Okay, now, on problem 5 initiates a little bit of an instruction piece, so I want you to pay attention pretty closely on problem 5. Problem 5 introduces a new type of formula, and so we'll call it your first formula of trigonometry in this section. What this is called here, it's called an arc length formula.
Shut up.
And arc length formula is S, and S is going to be our arc length,
What did they do?
Look at him, there's some.
and R is going to be what? It'll be a radius.
Take pictures. Over 100 probably.
And finally, what is this thing over here, this little symbol?
Theta,
It's called theta. How did you know that?
it looks Greek.
And what this is not in, theta is your angle, and the angle is not in the units of degrees, but it's in the units of radians.
Still there?
And what it is that's, we kind of introduced that earlier this year when we had the unit circle trigonometry song, right? 0, pi over 6 and more. So radians. So basically, it's a very simple formula because it just means you multiply these together. So your arc length S is going to be equal to 9.9, our radius times. So basically, it's your arc length is radius times radians. And when you do that, you're going to get 47 point something. What's it going to be? 47 point.
I haven't got a haircut.
47.252.
I have the.
47 point.
47 point.
Is it
32.
52. 47.52.
That's why I had that in, so I had to grow it
Oops.
down that way. It'll keep growing, it's just, it looks better.
And it's going to be in the same distance units as the original, 47.52 feet. So what I want to do is call on somebody to give me part B, the answer to part B here in 30 seconds.
There's like little hooks. Yeah, you have like little hooks.
And for this, we have Steve-O.
Steve.
Oh my gosh, you're really gonna make me get a headache.
I saw Steven.
Marcus?
And like every person says, like, they tell you once to put it on.
And Bowden.
I was gonna get that picture. Like mine is like my first one. On
What?
top
My
of-
brother worked at
Here it
Trigonometry.
is.
My brother worked at Conman. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. There's
I guess I'll just leave them on.
Okay.
So you just multiply these together, Steve-O, is that what you
Well,
did?
let's account for your
Yeah,
questions in the back.
Okay, thanks.
I really, yes, I'm not changing. That's right.
All right. Number 6 is very similar, except we're using a different Greek letter here. This little W-looking thing is a subscript omega, is what they call it. And this represents rotational velocity.
Oh my.
And so what you're doing is, it's the same thing, but you're going to have your answer in meters per second will be your units. Okay? Does that make sense? So I'm going to call on somebody, the person I call on for number 6 will be able to do parts A and part B, right? Right, it's the same type of thing.
Wait, what is it?
I don't know this one. I can tell you.
So do the same thing.
Part A and part B. Okay, for part number 6 we have Conman.
Oh, try to put on paper.
No, I didn't.
Really?
That's it? What's wrong?
It's the next one.
Oh.
I do a perfect circle.
There's nothing mini you want. I don't know. Mine looks a little good. And that one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. See, look, I remember my name.
That's wild.
This.
So it's just, these two numbers back.
Look, your circle was good, but you can't see it. So does your hands have to be like steady, like?
I don't know what the thing is.
You go down too
We got the
far,
whole thing on.
it's gonna be a check of mine.
Be on that one, you didn't label.
Yeah, make it. Well, actually, I'd be like,
Never like mess up, oh my goodness, but I mean, ever like, you know, drawing like say up rows, whatever, you know, whole rows. Yeah, I'm sure at one point
My son didn't finish
a little place or a line.
Because if you don't, I never wear them.
And if I did,
I was supposed to start wearing them since like November.
that was question.
No.
Because
Is that right?
I was wearing them every day.
Say yes. Okay.
Oh, I thought you could take my exhaust up, what do you have?
So what do you think about his answer? Is that right?
Is that a 2?
Yeah, I just can't draw.
Sometimes.
Okay, this is not right. What's wrong with it?
It's gotta be.
Yeah, so meters per second.
we have emergency.
Oh, my bad.
Meters per second, okay? So in this case where you have rotational velocity,
I'm gonna get them.
it's going to convert into arc velocity. So that's what that is, all right?
Is that an 8?
I don't know what.
Yeah, it's going to be 8.06.
Okay, that's what I thought.
8.06.
No, I had like
Okay, next section, we're getting into something where we're going to convert units, 6 through 10.
Yes!
No.
I didn't want this right now.
Did they ever score
I've
last
gone
year?
red. I didn't like red.
Okay, 6 through 10.
You.
Alabama's supposed to win.
I don't want Alabama.
You.
Yes, sir.
I suck at you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something that's called dimensional analysis. This is what I learned from my chemistry teacher, Mr. Toffelmeyer.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Toffelmeyer. And what you do is you change units to get this into feet per second. So you write it out like this,
Sorry, guys.
miles per hour, and then you realize to convert miles to feet, we have to know what? How many feet in a mile? So 1 mile has how many feet in it?
Alright, you're good.
5,800, no, 820.
No, 5,280.
5,200 feet.
You had all the right numbers.
Yeah, and Ben almost remembered it. What happened is, this is one that was very, in my day, people knew this one. And part of the reason is because of a lot, like in track and field, we've gone to metric.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, we didn't have 400-meter tracks. We had 440-yard tracks. And 440 yards times 4 is 1760. So 1760 yards. And 1716 times 3 is 5280. So we know that. So we're going to convert. So we go like this. We're going to put our next thing, we're going to change out miles. So to cancel out miles in the numerator here, what do we have to put over here? Miles, right? And how many feet do we have per mile? 5280.
Yeah.
So what you do is you set up your units so that they will cancel. So we know miles over miles cancel. So now we have feet per hour. What's the next thing we have to account for? Hours, right? We need to change hours to second. So 1 hour is how many seconds?
3,000.
1 hour is going to be 3,600 seconds, right? And we're going to pick this up later. That's going to be something to remember. So now, to cancel out hours, what do we have to put up here? Hour, right? So hour, and what goes down here? 3,600 seconds. And if you've done your dimensional analysis correctly, what you're going to have left is what you see remaining in the numerator and denominator tells you that you have the right units. And so your answer is going to be 60 times 5280 divided by 3,600. So 60 times 5280 divided by 3,600. So we get 88 feet per second. So that's going to be our answer for problem 7. Dimensional analysis. I don't know, that might be the most helpful thing I learned in high school for what I use in my career and everything. Dimensional analysis. So I want to choose somebody to work out numbers 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to show, at the very end of class, we're going to show a video. So that's what's happening in class today.
Yay.
So, what we have here is
You still living?
well, the next one we have is Luke. You have this one, Luke.
Do you repeat it? Hunter will kill it, he'll like squeeze it to death.
That star sucks.
Oh, good.
No, I can't do that. It's a new one, but. No, sir.
Dude, that's so wrong.
No, I did not.
You're supposed to start to your left.
What? No. You go up, then you make that, then you go across, and you also play yourself, then you go across, and then
No.
you just touch yourself.
You definitely go like this. You hold back the paper and like
What?
stars and circles. You don't think of.
Connor, you did it wrong. That's why it looks so dumb.
No, mine was, that one was good.
What do you do?
I did that one like y'all. Okay, if you
It's
do
just right.
this, that's the person, you want to grab these over here.
Also Texas. Texas is really where we go.
I remember it when I was 5.
Yeah,
Like the bunny rabbit crap with the shoelace.
I'll draw Texas.
Texas is pretty much the goal. Like if you don't know, like.
I can go Colorado if you did.
This, and then
Do they have Texas?
What?
How do you draw Texas?
I don't know. Like, like without looking at the state. I mean, it's not.
we're all looking at there now.
So
I thought he has
just divide these
Texas.
and still multiply.
What is that? Stalking?
Yeah.
So,
That stops
but I don't know.
Okay, so look, it goes like this.
I have nothing up here.
Texas looks like a
And it
jalapeno.
goes down. It goes.
No.
Not yet jalapeno.
Okay.
Maybe that's the problem. Anyway, let's look at Thomas Day. Aw.
You should have seconds up there.
Yeah. Maybe mine is better.
Yeah, look at my Texas.
Anything out of touch.
My Texas is horrible.
That's what they have right here.
Where?
Yeah, that goes
That
down.
one, right?
Why?
These how you know what to do.
We're projecting it to Miles.
I know.
See your Texas? Don't
So
picture.
Miles was over here. But then what would this change to?
I told you that way.
Did you do it?
Wait, Hunter, that'd be good.
Wait, you got the right answer, but how'd you do it?
So Luke, do you have that?
Not quite. Sorry, I totally
So I tell
forgot.
the units to go up, so I don't know how to explain that that way.
Okay.
Oh, you're not that
There you go, that one.
The units, they don't do all that.
Okay, there's mine.
I understand that.
Mine's definitely the best one.
Yeah, this is.
Mine's the best one. He's taking me out. It's like a fast pixel.
This one.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought my old ECG.
Okay, Luke, you're up here. Fill me up.
It was an emergency.
What?
John?
Yeah, most of it. We'll trade this in.
You finished with it? Okay, yeah, you can, what I want you to do
You want me to first?
is you can, yeah, you can pick it up. When you're done with it,
Three
yeah.
times at least.
Play broad, try to.
Yeah, John's gonna pick it up.
Are you serious?
That's alright.
That's a X. Okay. You know what I know that it's snow.
60.9?
Which one of those?
I mean, this part is pretty good. Just like it's super line.
X is this.
Yes, that.
Diane.
What?
Wait, Jacob.
Oh,
So where are you going to next?
Joe.
Oh, yeah. But I thought you would definitely. Are you in
Okay, let's try
medical?
and-
Are you in medical?
You got barely past.
So if you haven't finished everything here, turn in tomorrow. All right, thanks.
I knew it.
Our plan was to do that on Sunday.